Hello, and thanks for joining us on Political Platform. You can join us, as we always say, through three major platforms: Ray Power FM, Africa Independent Television, AIT, and the Political Platform on the YouTube channel. It is at Ray Power. I'm Okiri Agbonsuremi, and I'm very, very glad to have you. The team is glad to always have you every day here for the analysis we have, the reports we have, and all that we need to share, including your mails. There's a growing outburst of anger across the country regarding the recent security challenges in Nigeria. Of course, so as people are complaining, they are protesting, you also still have the insecurity breaches here and there. Just yesterday, 7 students were abducted, kidnapped from the Federal Polytechnic in Zamfara State, as well as the one that happened to the former Minister of Power, the sister and the twin children who were also adopted. Pictures and videos of citizens participating in various protests are all over the place, and demonstration, the level of discontent with how the government has managed security issues in recent time is one that you see on the street. Let's take a particular one. We picked up one of the videos, and let's see what the message that gives to us. And we must commend after the policemen, the maturity with which they were able to hold on despite the what we can call the anger of those people around. Let's take this clip.
People are inside the bush. Children are inside the bush. Teachers have been beheaded. And you are telling me that you agitate for you calmly. Agitate for you calmly? For what? For what? For what? You don't know your job? You should have gone to the bush.
Anger on, you will call them poor policemen. We don't know how many bullets are in their magazines. If you hear the story of these policemen who are pushed by politicians to face this anger on the street, you will know that just the way they walked away from that anger, that's the best for them. They probably don't have any answers. You move policemen. I was speaking with a retired Deputy Inspector General of Police a few days ago, and he told me that all through his career, he was never paid transfer allowance. And that is what happens in the police. They ask you to go, they give you signal, ask you to report. It is left for you to how you get there, and call relations or friends where you squat is your problem. Some sleep at the police stations for such a long time. This is a different topic altogether for us to discuss at some day. But it is the anger that is the street we are talking about. People are really, really angry. But like my colleague Uju Eje said, Nigerians are not still angry enough. They are not taking the anger to the polling units. They are not taking it on their representatives. They are not asking as much questions as possible. They are not doing enough democratically in a peaceful way to know that we don't, with the space we cede to them, is not that it is legal, it is constitutional, and they must respect it. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is also facing significant public criticisms due to the recent leaks of its database. This has further eroded the already fragile and low level of public confidence in the electoral body, fueled by earlier allegations of partisanship against its chairman, Joash Amokpiton. This situation with INEC is our main focus today on the program. We have a guest from the organized civil society groups to help us analyze it and take a look at some areas we have marked down as the drawback of INEC. How do we bridge the gaps that are available? Is it to ask Amokpiton to go, like some people have said, or ask him to stay and justify his office by doing what is appropriate? My colleagues, Uju Eje, my colleagues are here. Uju Eje is here. Thank you so much, Uju.
Thank you, Ohiria, and thank you, all of you out there. I think that the important thing is for the INEC chairman first to clear himself. And of course, this data leakage, the breach has also to be cleared. And to the extent that people can still repose confidence in the electoral body to conduct elections. Without that being done, I don't know. I mean, if you were a Nigerian out there, would you be confident enough to go to an INEC or an election conducted by INEC today with this story about the chairman and with this data leakage, knowing fully well that people can even hack into the system and that even staff of INEC are the ones doing the leakage. They are the ones giving out information. It's very, 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 very sad. I mean, INEC does not give Nigerians the confidence to trust it to conduct free, fair elections.
Mustafa Mohammed, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. We started with the security like yesterday. Just yesterday, I had the privilege of spending 2 hours with someone who was very close to the police during Gawan era. And the person told me that most of the barracks, training schools, police stations, even the formation of the mobile policemen were done under that IG Kamselem. And that was an era, golden era for the police, when if someone was transferred, no matter how lowly he was placed among the rank and file, the police will give a truck, they'll carry the mattresses, the wardrobes, the beds, and then go with the family to whatever location that person was transferred. And then later the transfer, whatever logistics was monetized, but for a very long time, they no longer get it like the DIG you say told you. Then the uniform and shoes you have to buy with your own money.
Yes.
So it's actually very terrible. Coming back to the issue of the independent credibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission as a result of the breach, I received a lot of phone calls from people saying the call on the INEC chairman to resign his position was too extreme, but I believe it's the very right thing to do. Look at the Hajj Commission. A lot of allegations about financial impropriety leveled against him. And eventually the EFCC started a probe. And then the man was either forced himself to throw in the towel. So I think the INEC chairman can still do that when the ovation is loud, because the 2027 election is a few months ago. He shouldn't wait and mess up our election. He should throw in the towel, and the president has the power to, of course, appoint another person.
Well, the damage to INEC's reputation over the past few months, as it said, has become a serious concern to stakeholders involved in the electoral process. If INEC wants to rebuild trust before the 2027 elections, the electoral body must quickly address some of its credibility challenges. The essential steps, to me, should include focusing on its technical issues, how to secure the data, and addressing the legal and institutional accountability gaps that currently exist. Like I told you, a guest will come in and we'll talk about it. But let me tell what my finding from the Independent National Electoral Commission yesterday for the purpose of those who are picking information from us. The breach happened not at the headquarters of INEC, it happened at the Abuja office of INEC. The information I have, which I verily believe, is that a registration officer had the login details, had the data that we are talking about, and then shared it with the boss, somebody who is above an EO, electoral officer. And that electoral officer is the person we hear is under arrest now, who apparently was trading with it and was just having a field day. I think he did it. Maybe
The name of that officer, Okiria, should be in the public. This is a public issue, a public servant creating such a very dangerous breach before the general election. You can imagine how many other electoral officers have access to such data. And as a result, a lot of Nigerians are asking questions. Can the INEC chairman or INEC as an institution protect the sanctity of this data? This kind of events are even happening all over the world, where you hear that breaches have happened at the banks, social media organizations, and what. But the INEC is different because it's supposed to determine the integrity of the next general election. And if you have people within the INEC who are allegedly sabotaging the operations of INEC, then the federal government should make sure that heads must roll. The National Assembly should also take a very strong stand.
I think that's very, very correct, because unless we get our elections right, we cannot get our leaders right. And we will keep going round in circles. Look at what we have been reduced to as a nation. You and I knew during the June 12th struggle how we labored, how we suffered as students, as junior workers then, to ensure that democracy was entrenched in this country. Some people went to prison. Some people went through so much hardship. And what do we have today? Those who do not even know how democracy came to be are spoiling everything. How can an INEC official who knows that he was not supposed to give out information now give it, whether to his boss or to his subordinate? It's none of my business. He was not supposed to give out that information, and he shouldn't have done that.
Of course, the Independent National Electoral Commission is not up yet with the name of the officer. What we hear is that he's undergoing interrogation with the security, arms. And the person who also went on air with the information and didn't understand the implication of what he had, Larry Olainka, has also been asked some questions. I'm not aware if he's detained or, but I know that he's been interrogated. Of course, we just tell them where he got the information he shared from, and they probably will now go deep down, which is what I believe they are doing. But it throws up the question of how many people have had access to the information data. But is it the first time? Is it a repeated thing? Have they been trading with it in the past? These are some of the things that raise up.
They actually don't need to trade in it in the public like the Olainka who posted it on the social media. If politicians needed this information to scheme for their electoral success, they can quietly use whatever information they get from the INEC. If this Olainka has not posted it on the social media, nobody will know. Yeah. So you can imagine,
so we know how many
times it has been used during election and how many people have access to.
But does it not show?
I think that the vulgarity of that action, if I may use that word, the vulgarity of that action shows that even the politicians don't understand some of the jeopardy that they're putting this country into, that they're putting the electoral process into. I mean, how can you just flippantly, anyhow, just release such information simply because you want to get at another politician, you want to deal with Emeka Ike, you want to show him that maybe you can deal with him and he cannot get the ticket. How do you, I mean, for me, it's vulgar, it's insensitive.
But then parties, Okiria, the political parties have membership registered.
Yes.
The political parties can just look at the scores in the last election and then how many people voted for their party And then how many people have registered again during the
Yes.
continuous voter registered. Putting 1+1, the political parties can actually know the strengths and weaknesses of their party members in terms of numbers. The opposition, they can also look at what the opposition had and what they can present at the moment. And in looking at the general election, to scheme and strategize. So the issue of even going through the INEC and using what they have in their server does not even come, except if people have some ill-gotten intentions.
Yes, yeah, I think that's where the point is, because this information you are talking about now should generally be in the public. I should know how many people are registered in my constituency. It is the responsibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission to guide everyone, including the voters. Those who are contesting should know how many people, because if we do not know that 400 people are registered in a particular location, on election day, the register can come to be 1,000, 4,000, and we will be asking questions.
The magical counting.
Yes, these are the manipulation we are talking about. They should not, those who want to manipulate, they know the reason why they want to manipulate. And INEC should guide their data religiously, such that nobody has access to it. If you want information about a particular place, you can actually do an FOI, ask information formally and request. I want to know the number or what is happening in my constituency, and INEC is bound by law to release information for you if it has no security breaches. But for you to have staff in-house that have the tendency to be traders with your information, and within you don't know, because what our guest said yesterday is that INEC ought to know right from the beginning, because the man who is the master guy who distributes this data or this login details will know that there has been multiple access from different places. They should have on their own within, they didn't need to wait for Larry Olayinka. And when Larry Olayinka even did it, they didn't even take any action.
Exactly, until the public started crying. And the use of electronic system and electronic data is very sensitive and important, because with this kind of data, Nigerians will indeed know how many people, how many voters are really in every other place. That's why some people are shouting about the delineation of constituencies in Delta State. Because in the past, when there were no electronic data as regards how many registered voters are there, how many people have been voting, people were coming with a lot of numbers to secure successes in gubernatorial, National Assembly election, and they kept coming to the National Assembly and what have you. And immediately INEC did delineation. A lot of them were shouting to high heavens. And of course, that has already exposed the kind of illegal schemes the politicians are carrying out.
Just lastly, Uju, the case with the Independent National Electoral Commission is pitiable. Now, the first allegation against the chairman was that he was partisan, yes, and that he had demonstrated in the past. INEC set up internally a probe. They cleaned the INEC chairman and said they have discovered that how can you be probing yourself in the first place? Now, again, they are going on that line. Our guest said yesterday,
probe, they swept it under the carpet.
Our guest said only an independent audit, yes, can convince Nigerians that. But it's an independent audit.
You've covered the judiciary. You know the principles of law. You cannot be a judge in your own case. Exactly. So that's exactly what the Independent National Electoral Commission has done. And you start asking this pertinent question: whose interest is the INEC protecting? Okay, there are allegations against you. Let people from outside the INEC come. You resign or temporarily step aside and allow the probe to take place. There are weighty allegations against the INEC chairman. He has not on his own come out to address them. So you are talking about the issue of integrity and competence of not just the institution, but the person who is heading the institution. And you expect that same person to lead us to the general election in 2027.
Of course, we have reached out to the Independent National Electoral Commission. We are very keen to balance our discussions, so we don't barb their hair in their absence always. We have sent messages out. Unfortunately, the person we wanted to have today, the one of the directors in charge of information and voter, she actually politely said she just came into town, she's still studying, and that she will get back to us today if she can come in tomorrow or Monday. I also reached out to the higher person. We are reaching out to them to tell them that they have opportunity to come and explain and tell the public what they are doing. I know they issued a statement which we presented yesterday and told you what they said, that yes, there was a breach, but it was not external. There was no external influence. It was inside, and they are doing that. Like we told you, some persons have been arrested. So we are hopeful that the Independent National Electoral Commission will be able to come not just to our platform, but also to other platforms, make Nigerians understand what is happening with them. But when we come back from this break that we are taking now, we would bring in our guests. The topic we are still talking is this. We are bringing the civil society persons who will be out there doing elections. Somebody who has elections in his fingertips, who understands what it takes to damage the reputation, of INEC. When we come back, James Ugochukwu, the regional secretary that is the regional secretary of the West African Civil Society Forum, will be joining us on the program when we come back. Please don't go away. You are onto Political Platform, and we'll be back shortly.
Old new chapter in political discourse. The conversations that matter most are stepping into the spotlight like never before. Political Platform, the hard-hitting, no-holds-barred program you have trusted on Raypower Radio is making a powerful move to television. Tune in to Africa Independent Television, AIT, as Political Platform debuts on your screen, bringing deeper analysis, sharper debates, and the voices shaping our nation's future right into your screens. From policy and politics breakdowns to real-time discussions with key stakeholders, this is more than a program. It is where opinions are tested, truths are uncovered, and the people's voice is heard. Join seasoned hosts and expert guests as they tackle the issues that define our democracy. No filters, no distractions, just real talk. Political Platform, now on AIT, 9 to 10 a.m. every weekday. Stay informed, stay engaged, be part of the conversation.
The stories now break online. With anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT, on air, online, online.
Thank you so much for staying with us and remaining with us on Political Platform. Now let's go to the deeper details of the implications of the data leak, the downward trend in the credibility and image of the electoral umpire, and what they can do and what we can also do to assist them to recover themselves. Our guest, James Ugochukwu, is the regional secretary of the West African Civil Society Forum. He's an advocate of credible elections and good governance. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, let's begin. I have narrowed down to just two or three basic steps what INEC can possibly do on my own to say, look, you need to take care of your technical details, your data, you have to secure it, and you have to work to bridge the gaps that is in existence with the legal and institutional framework that will restore confidence in the people. But some other persons have said, INEC chairman step aside. That's the beginning of it. That if it's not there, nobody will believe whatever thing they are doing. There are some other persons are also saying there are so many elements within INEC. We don't know whose mandate they are pushing. How do you read?
Well, for those that are saying that INEC chairman should step down, I think they should further say the whole people in INEC should go. Because we're talking of INEC.
Or bring people from Togo.
Yes, maybe bring different people entirely. Because we're talking about somebody that, though all the box top at his table, he has little control over some people that works with him. As somebody that have worked in the electoral space for the past 18 going to 20 years, it is clear that INEC can have the best of his plan and all that, but the people you don't have control over, which is these ad hoc staffs or other people that provide ancillary services, they can mess up all your plans beautifully. Now, like the issue we are talking about now, you just said that this thing happened at INEC Abuja office, not the headquarters. So the INEC Abuja office has an electoral officer that is manning the place. Then this particular data breach happened in their ICT department, definitely. So the question is that how can the INEC chairman now be held responsible for what?
But why do leaders?
No,
Sorry.
I'm heading somewhere. Why should he be held responsible for the character flaw of one of the staff? The only time they can hold him responsible if he fails to take action on what has happened now. And that is what Nigerians are interested in. What action is INEC going to take in the next couple of days? Because definitely what has happened has exposed that the people working in the ICT department, or some of them, they lack integrity and is needed in this kind of process. Because what happened in a late term is like this facility of your media company now, you are protecting it from external aggression. But somebody from inside handed the key to the media house to an external person. So that's what happened there.
The issue about the cause for the INEC chairman to resign is not just about this leak. It's not just about this breach. There's also a pending issue. Already the credibility of the electoral umpire, people are seeing it as having been compromised. And the electoral umpire has not really come out to clear those doubts. Now, it is not just about the INEC chairman and this leak. What do you have to say about that?
Well, INEC chairmanship is one position that is a very dicey one, that any person that gets there, no matter your level of integrity, it will always
the system will mess it up.
it will always be in question.
What if you mess it up yourself?
And now, I always say that this is predicated on the fact that the leadership recruitment of INEC chairman is flawed. You know, a situation where you have the president appointing INEC chairman, the credibility of that INEC chairman
From the beginning
will be questioned by people in the opposition, will be questioned by people that are not supporting those in power. Now, that does not remove the fact that as an INEC chairman, you have the duty to prove people wrong from the assumption that, yes, we may have your doubts about me and all that, but I'm not that kind of person. By the kind of action you take, by the kind of action you use to address certain issues that are raised around you. Like as my sister said, there are a lot of issues that have been raised, you know, the issue of
here and there.
The issue of voter register, the release of voter register, the timetable, the registering of some political party, the removal of some political party and all that. So there's a way that the INEC information system or the INEC chairman should manage it. That will tell.
But I want to take you up. I want to take you up on the statement that you made that if INEC chairman does not take action, that's when we should hold him down. Okay. And I disagree with you. Okay. It is not an action after the incident that is important here. It is action before the incident. Because what are the laid down procedure? What are the things down? If you have followed this trend, you would have heard that INEC ought to know that there was a security breach before Larry Olayinka went on air. Because if there's an external or anybody from outside of multiple login, they will know. If I log in with my laptop, they will know that somebody logged in with a different laptop. They ought to have known some of these things, put the safeguards down, and prevent it from happening. That is one. Secondly, I will ask you, why do leaders resign their office? Is it because they were the one that carried out the action? If they take the board, like you said, the box stops on their table. They take responsibility. They take liability for whatever is happening. They are vicariously liable for whatever action, even when they are not there to say, why do you say we should hold INEC chairman responsible only after if he has not taken action?
Now, I'll clarify that because I have some knowledge of ICT. Now, what we are talking about is granting unauthorized access to someone that's supposed not to be having this password. So now it could be a transactional relationship between Leroy Olayinka and whoever gave it to him. So now, the other second thing is how often does INEC carry digital audit? Because internal digital security breach is even more threatening than external hacking. Because what Nigerians are even expecting is, okay, is this IRF server going to be hacked? Is it going to be attacked and all that? But what we are having now is internal breach of security. So now, what we should be asking...
Actually, what INEC has come out with. Now, people are talking about independent audit.
Yes.
And that is when we will know the real truth. If it is only internal,
INEC is
and
running
if
away
it
from
is only
independent
this,
audit. On all
we need
matters,
it.
they run away from independent. They don't want anybody to come from outside. Because if you, Mr. Ogochukwu, if you are asked to go to the Independent National Electoral Commission to say, look, what has happened here, even if you don't have data knowledge, you are not technically, you know who you take along to say, ask these questions, and you will not be afraid that you'll be sacked. You will not be afraid that anything will happen to you. That is why independent persons, but INEC has consistently, at least in the last incident, decided that to be a judge, like Mustafa said, you'll be the accuser and the judge in some case. So that's why people are saying that we don't know who Amupiton is working for. So if people are asking him to resign, they have justification because he's not acting in such a way that can build credibility in the system.
Well, for me, if you look at the whole thing, the investigation is already going on. And for me, no investigation should even be carried out because this is somebody that did something, he posted it on the public space, and his name is there, didn't hide it. So what we should be expecting is for National Data Protection Agency, the DSS and all this
to take action.
To take action and hold all these people responsible. And like the person that his information was leaked to, take action against both INEC and the person that leaked the information and every other people that are concerned. And of course, head should roll from the head of IT to the...
I thought you wanted to say from the head of INEC.
from the head of IT.
You are very careful in saying that because you don't agree. In any case, let me allow Mustafa to ask his question.
Coming from the background of an NGO, I find it very difficult to believe your stand that you are supporting the INEC chairman in this, that he should not resign. We are looking at the threat against the 2027 general election. And as an NGO, everyone is expecting the civil societies to really stand with whatever thing that can bring credibility to the next general election. Do you have some special relationship with the INEC chairman or the institution that you are trying to protect them?
I don't have any special appointment or consultative status with INEC.
Or funding?
Or funding from the INEC. What I'm just trying to say here is this. Remove INEC chairman. So long as you have people with character flaws within the ranks and files of INEC, the same thing will happen. Even if they put you, Mustafa Mohammed, as head of INEC, if you are not careful, if you still have people with that kind of character flaws there, they will mess up.
Don't forget the fact that we had several INEC chairmen from Humphrey Wosu down to Jega, Akpata, the immediate one, that professor who is now an ambassador, and others. I don't think we have the kind of scandal and allegations against the integrity of the current chairman we have. I don't think those other ones have the same thing. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, what I have to say is that the trends are already changing. We are living in a digital world.
They just recruited a bad ex for him, for the current chairman?
The trends are changing and we are having a digital system. Like I said before, in the digital governance system, not only in INEC, we're talking of even
generally,
the NIMC, the NCC, and everybody.
Even the exam conducted bodies.
The exam conducting bodies. So if you don't put a proper layered, when I say layered, now layered authentication protocol, all this can be subjected to abuse. And if you don't put deterrence
And the
Guess
resignation
what
should be
is-
one of the deterrents.
Pardon?
The resignation by the chairman should be one of the deterrents. So that
Let us take a look at the implications. We have talked about what should the cleanup that should be done. Let's go to the public.
Good.
And look at the mind of the public. You are a civil society person. You relate with them on a daily basis.
Yes.
You've worked in the electoral and good governance. Now we are seeing from the papers, from the social media, that people are beginning to think, can we have a credible election in 2027? What are the things that we should do as a people? Let's begin from INEC. What are the things that INEC must quickly do to restore this credibility? I don't want to talk about the resignation of the chairman now. What is there? What should they do to restore confidence and make people to believe that when that their vote will count?
Now, what has happened now is one, people will start doubting the integrity of the voter register as it is now. And this is data breach you are talking about for an external person to go to the INEC
To have access.
back end, pull somebody's data out and throw it into the public. So this has thrown a lot of question of the integrity of the INEC ICT infrastructure as it is. Because what Leroy Lanka told us is what we know. We don't know whatever he has done again. INEC is saying that, okay, it's only one incident, that the remaining 90 million voter register is not tampered with. Only INEC know that until we carry out a proper investigation. So INEC needs to open up and tell us.
So that
exactly.
proper investigation will restore our confidence.
Well, that proper investigation now, because this thing that has happened now, it will go a long way to even cast doubt on the integrity of voter register that will be thrown out. Because if this person were able to manipulate the data at the back end, it shows that during election, a lot of false names may appear on the voters' register. It's possible.
So is that serious?
So that's a very serious issue. Then the second thing is the doubt about the independence of INEC. If they can prove that they don't have political interference. What the person we are talking about is the aid to the FC.
It's an aid to the minister of
aid to
FCT.
politician. And why this man is not under detention is what I don't know. Is it because he's an aid to a powerful minister that may revoke INEC land in Metama or what? Because he's supposed to, yes, he's supposed to. No, because if it's an ordinary citizen that did this now, by now DSS might have locked the person down in their facility or somewhere. So it will cast doubt about if INEC is not under some kind of political influence based on the fact that the person that did it is an aid to a powerful politician and nothing has been done to the person. The person is still walking around free. Then lastly, it will still cast out if INEC at the end of the day will be able to come up with a voter register that everybody will agree that this thing is well prepared and nothing has happened to it. Because all these doubts are now on it. Then lastly, the action INEC is going to take within this week and next week, publishing the names of people that took part in
That
this.
had access, yeah.
That had access in this, and of course, ensuring that they throw them out to the law to deal with them will now determine if people will have confidence in them. And if INEC don't do all these things, of course, this will result to doubt in the voter registers, as I said. This may even result to voter apathy. So if a voter register is being manipulated, then that means the result, we should just forget about it. Or they will start spreading rumor that even the IRF portal and
Have been
and
overrun.
the beavers have already been compromised. Because if somebody can have access to a back end, is it the beavers machine that they carry about that they cannot give to one person to do anything that he wants to do it?
These are serious analysis you have made.
So INEC need to take action as it is.
What kind of action should they take?
The kind of action they need to take.
Yes.
Somebody like Mustafa will want INEC chairman to resign.
No, we don't. We
well-
are not even talking about him resigning now.
Investigation.
Yes.
So they need to carry out, number one,
Can they investigate themselves?
one, they have to investigate how the whole thing happened.
Can they do it by themselves? Will
Yes.
they not be judges in their own matter?
They
Who
well,
will believe them?
no, the number one thing now is that both Leroy Lanka and the person that gave him the access, both of them have violated the Data Protection Act 2023. Cyber Crime Act of 2025. So we need to pick those guys out first and keep them one corner. Then before INEC will now start carrying out audit of what happened and throw the information out. Because why we are saying that the issue of if they can investigate themselves is dicey, because we are talking about data here, sensitive data. So if they bring in external body, question is the external body from where? Is it from Ministry of Communication, or is it from NCC, or is it from outside Nigeria, that the person can, that we can vouch for the person, that the person won't have any cause to use the information is private to for his own benefit. I don't know if I'm getting my point.
What about the other issue about the chairman that is yet to be cleared?
Which of the issues?
There were allegations
member
that he
of
was
APC.
partisan and they ruled by themselves. What Uju is saying that they ruled, they investigated and came up with clearing the INEC chairman. That's actually the beginning of the credibility challenge that Professor Amoputan has. And then this, because you are not very categorical in your last response.
He's been dodging the aspect of the chairman.
You said they should investigate. And I was asking you repeatedly, can we believe them if they investigate themselves?
That's what I'm saying now. That, like as I said earlier, INEC chairmanship is a dicey position. When you are appointed by a sitting president to preside over election, definitely everything you do will be subject to scrutiny and doubt by other people. So now, of course, when they investigate themselves, they are going to give you information that even at the end of the day, people are still going to doubt it.
So why
then
don't,
the question, the challenge again?
Let's throw this up, sir.
Yes.
Let's throw this up. Now, I don't want to believe that we do not have credible individuals with the ICT experience. They have associations. They have organizations that we can trust will do the job of looking at the back and look at the structure of INEC and telling us what happened. They will be the only one that will tell us, no, it was not just this guy that had access. There was multiple access from several quarters. But INEC had already told us, even before the probe was set up by INEC, they already told us that when there was no external breach, what are they investigating?
Now, the issue is this. Even if you bring professional bodies, the question is who is going to appoint or give those professional bodies the assignment to go to INEC to do those investigations.
They will have a term of reference.
They have a term of reference.
Even the security
I thought we were going
agents
to ask
people to do
So
that.
now, the terms of reference,
Yes.
what is the guarantee that they will come out with the real report that will not be...
Nobody's
Exactly, because now I want us to understand the challenges we are facing as a country. The challenge we are facing as a country is a society where public institution has been weakened by powerful individuals.
Yes.
Name any institution. Is it the judiciary? Is it the legislature? Is it the independent National Electoral Commission that's supposed to be independent of everything? But at the end of the day, we keep on having INEC chairman appointed by the president. So if any investigation is going to be done, they are still going to have these institutions being appointed by people in the system to go and ask them questions. And at the end of the day, they will come up with something that you will still ask questions, is this thing real or not? So the solution to this
I know
is
that
for...
there are professional bodies who are empowered to do such jobs. It's just like when you want to audit your company, you can either do through your internal auditors
There's
or
always
you bring
internal
in
auditor, yes.
external auditors.
But have you seen
And
a situation
it is
where
accepted.
external auditors will come audit? Okay, even in our this thing, at times if National Bureau of Statistics comes with some statistics, people will start casting doubt in what they came up with. The same thing with
So are you painting a
price
picture,
without surpassers.
sir? Are you painting a picture of a very hopeless situation in Nigeria that we don't have any credible person we can trust to give us information? If we are at that level, I don't know what we are doing in this studio.
Well,
I don't know why we are Nigerians. We have INEC. I don't know why we have a government. Because, again, even the National Assembly have committees that oversight all these organizations. If the Senate or the House of Rep can even get up and say, look, we want to know what is happening, give the INEC matching orders, because they oversight them. These are some of the things we should be talking about.
Good. So in that case now we'll be having a layered investigative system where professional bodies, as Uju said, will be oversighted by another person, will be oversighted by another person. Now, the first thing, like I said before, is for those that have done this to be taken away first for investigation. The INEC person that released that information, the person that had the temerity to upload it in his social media account, when they take those ones out, then you see that the jitter will now enter INEC. Every other people will now start speaking, from the head of INEC to the last person there. That's on one point. Then the other recommendation is for INEC to now properly carry out assessment of their digital infrastructure as they are going into the general election. Because if this thing can happen, that means it has opened up the whole portal for compromise. And that compromise is no longer external now, as fear of it being internally generated, which is even far, far more dangerous than external hacking.
All right. We must appreciate our guests. I think we put you to a lot of tasks as if you are working for INEC.
He dodged some of them.
Mr. James Ugochukwu, the guest is, we put him like if he's working for INEC, but he's not. And what we need to do collectively is to build in the public. We're also conscious of the fact that, before we let you go, we're also conscious of the fact that we need to encourage the public.
Sure.
Because if we trade on anger and we destroy INEC because we are angry with one person, then we may actually invariably destroy ourselves. So what do you tell the public?
So what I tell the public is that they have their own role to play in all this, in the sense that they have the right to ask questions and they have the right to track development. As voters' registers are going to be published in different polling units in some couple of months now, to be able to, take advantage of that window of claims and objection to point out what is not right. Because we've seen a situation where some polling units, people will say that the names of people we have are already dead or they are not existing in our community and others. So they have all those roles to play. And of course, they have the role to hold the government accountable, no matter how it appears that the government is not doing the right thing. They have the role to hold the government accountable. And of course, if Nigerians say they want the INEC chairman to go, it's the people. Democracy is about the government of the people. If the people say they don't want INEC chairman to remain and the voice is so loud and clear, then the president have no other choice than to remove him.
All right, we must thank you, the Regional Secretary of the West Africa Civil Society Forum, Mr. James Ugochukwu. He's an advocate for credible elections, and he has worked in the good governance space for a very long time. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And when we come back, we'll wrap up with your mails, and then we talk about briefly, very, very briefly, about the insecurity, the reports around Nigeria in the last 24 hours, and then we'll wrap up. Please don't go away. We are on Political Platform.
In the hallowed chambers where laws are forged and a nation's destiny is decided.
This is your parliamentary program, Inside the Parliament on AIT.
Voices rise, opinions clash, debates ignite.
We cannot be apologetic in the discharge of our constitutional duties as lawmakers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Must shift to INEC.
From the Senate to the House of Representatives, this is where policies are tested, laws are crafted, and authority is held to account.
We spoke to some lawmakers on their opinions of the document presented by the president.
Every motion, every argument carries the hopes of millions.
We need more hospitals, more health clinics in communities so that they can effectively take care of the primary health need of people.
The questions are tough. The exchanges are intense.
Mr. President, you can have your way, but I will have my say. You can use the gavel, and I will use my voice.
And those who want the proviso are 55 in number. And so the proviso says.
But who truly stands for the people? Who is driving the change that defines our tomorrow?
GTBT, whatever.
Get the answers on Where Nigeria Decides on Inside the Parliament on AIT every Tuesday, 4:30 p.m.
Thank you for remaining with us, and we always set out time to share your views, citizens' perspectives, political platform at darkgroup.com. Uju, let's take a look at who is talking to us today.
Yes, this one is from Amici Obochi from Kubwa. The youngest sister of the immediate past Minister of Power and APC chieftain in Oyo State, Bayo Adelabu, alongside her twin children, were yesterday abducted by gunmen in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. They were reportedly kidnapped at the Elewura area of Challenge in Ibadan Southwest local government area of the state. If kidnappings can now occur freely within a state capital, it clearly shows that nowhere, not even government house, can truly be considered safe anymore. If I may ask, what has happened to the proposed state police initiative, which even President Tinubu once supported? Politics aside, Nigerians must understand that insecurity has now reached a level where nobody is safe, including those surrounded by battalions of security personnel. And the next one is from Comrade Mandiame from Abuja. I wish to use this medium to commend the judiciary for the courageous judgment that sentenced the 4 masterminds of our Catholic Church attack to death. This is indeed victory for justice. I call on Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa to ensure immediate compliance and execution of the judgment, bearing any appeal to serve as deterrents to others. Similarly, kudos to the DSS team for doing a good job and for proving their case beyond reasonable doubt. Finally, I urge security agents to leverage on intelligence gathering and deployment of surveillance devices to combat insurgency and to monitor our critical national assets and infrastructure against vandalization. My prayer and thoughts are with the abducted Oyo State school children and teachers. God bless Nigeria.
And from Ugochukwu Godwin in Lagos, we will not solve our security challenges with guns and boots on the ground. We have very porous borders. If a former minister said we have about 1,200 of such open borders where strangers come into the country, get their NIN and INEC card and travel across the country with ease. Having a central database where each person can be identified and traced is paramount. We claim to be over 200 million. I witnessed the census of 2005 and 2006, and it was marred with fictitious figures. That was 26 years ago, and we have a population commission that is dormant. We need to have a legislation on this free movement of persons and birth control measures that should be made. If we don't know how many we are, how do we plan for the future and now? Emeka Umba also rising from Abuja. I think it's high time we started looking into unguarded, reckless, and sensitive statements by our so-called leaders, especially now that we are dealing with multifaceted or hydra-headed menacing insecurity. Anyone trying to play politics with insecurity should be arrested and thoroughly investigated because, from experience, there's no telling how far desperate politicians can go to get to power and remain in power or corridors of power. Let us get serious and decisive in the fight against insecurity, no matter whose ox is God. The solution to some of our teething insecurity challenges might be lying in unlikely places. Just before you go, before we wrap up, there was a kidnap in Ibadan. There was also a kidnap in Zamfara. 7 students of the Federal Polytechnic were kidnapped, and as that was going on there. So despite all the outcry and everything, we still have a lot of challenges.
We don't have safe schools. People can just kidnap children from schools, and then some people have said, maybe now that it has affected a big man or a big man's family, we will not see action. But you see, for me, they are Nigerians. They have the right to adequate security. Our heart goes out to the Adelabu family as well as the teachers and pupils. Government should get them free.
Like I keep saying, these bandits or kidnappers are not falling from the skies.
No, they are amongst us.
They follow the roads.
Yeah, they follow
these parameters that are not being guarded.
They are within our space.
Within our spaces, the ungoverned spaces, this is where they move and operate. So somebody needs to tell us why despite the numerous number of security agents we have, especially the police, a lot of roads and spaces in our environment are unguarded.
All right, we must go now. Our political platform will be back tomorrow. My name is Okiri Agbonsuremi. On behalf of my colleagues, I want to thank you always for investing your time with us and taking all the pain to write to us through political platform at darkgroup.com. Take it easy, be a good citizen, and stay away from trouble.